welcome back to RunThrough TV. It is Ben Sheppard here. Okay, I want you to meet somebody who really does, in my eyes, personify the mantra uncommon amongst uncommon people. Her achievements to date are absolutely extraordinary.
Hi, I'm Eilidh Prise. I'm 26 and I'm from Aberdeen. I, this year, just recently won the Norseman Extreme Triathlon in Norway, which is the Xtri World Championships. So I guess that makes me a world champion, which is really cool. And before that, I did the Countman Extreme Triathlon in Scotland last year, which I also won, and I did it this year as well, just 6 weeks before Norseman. And that's really my triathlon experience. Apart from that, I have a full-time job. I've got no coach and no sponsors. Just love running in the hills and have an amazing family who also are crazy sporty also.
Although it does kind of feel like Eilidh has come out of nowhere and achieved some unbelievable things already in her career, she does actually have quite the sporting background.
So I don't often talk about my background in the sport, and I think a lot of people just think I kind of one day decided to ride a bike and go on an adventure, and that is kind of what happened. But before that, I used to do a sport called modern pentathlon, which is running, swimming, shooting, horse riding, and fencing. And I did that for quite a few years, and I competed at the World Cup circuit. And the last year I did that, I always did it alongside studying, so it was never full time. But I just got these competitions and I was like, I don't enjoy this and I don't want to be here, and it's a lot of money, and I really found it so intense, and the training for it really intense, and the structure, I didn't like that. And I always saw my family running up mountains and doing kind of these fun things and thought, I wish I was doing that. So I decided to take a break from that, not with any plans to kind of do anything else. And then 2020 came along, and we all know what happened in 2020. So we all had a bit more time on our hands, and I decided to buy a second-hand cross bike off Gumtree. And my dad does a good bit of cycling, so I started joining him on some of his cycles, struggling to keep up, seriously struggling to keep up. And then I started, because I had done the flat running or the kind of shorter, faster stuff when I was in doing pentathlon, and I was really checked out from that. I didn't want to see times. I didn't care about numbers. I just wanted to enjoy running. So I started running on local trails and like the local small hills, and then the hills just kind of got bigger and bigger, and the cycles also got bigger and bigger, and one thing kind of led to the other. And then last year, my dad was always doing the Countman, and about 7 weeks before the event, there became some extra slots because people still couldn't travel because of international travel. So I was like, I have to do this. I mean, I don't know if I can do this. I've done some big mountain days, but I've never done anything like this before. 7
weeks before, just 7 weeks, to arguably take on the toughest, or one of the toughest, triathlons on planet Earth. A 3.8 kilometre loch swim, unbelievable. 202 kilometres on the bike in the Scottish Highlands before capping things off with a 42.2 kilometre run over the mountains in Scotland. An incredible achievement.
I won by 11 seconds only.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was super close. It was kind of like a sprint at the last bit, so over 12 or 13 hours. It's not much time at all. But yeah, one thing's just led to the other. And to be honest, I can't quite believe how quickly things have accelerated. I'm in kind of shock with it all.
Yeah, because with that victory came qualification for the Xtri World Championships, and to probably the most infamous race on planet Earth when you're talking triathlon, the Norseman.
So I qualified from winning Countman last year, and I remember there was a point in the race last year at Countman where I came off the bike and I was in third, and I was thinking, and I knew first to qualify for Norseman, and I'm thinking, thank God I'm in third, because I never want to do this ever again. I feel so hard. I was like, oh my goodness, why did I ever sign up for this? So anyway, so I had qualified for Norseman, and I knew Norseman was kind of in August, and I know myself that I for me, getting kind of too bogged down in the details and too focused on one thing, it just doesn't work for me. I'm better off keeping things relaxed, keeping them flexible, just not thinking about things, just kind of doing them. So I decided to enter Countman again, which was kind of 6 or 7 weeks before, and all I was going to do was just focus on Countman, and didn't really think about Norseman until like a week later, when I was thinking, oh, I'm still very sore and very tired from Countman. This is not so good.
And yeah, of course, she won Countman again this year. So went to Norway in some pretty good form. But the Norseman, it's a different beast. The swim itself starts in the middle of a fjord and you have to take a ferry out there. Unbelievable stuff. When were the nerves really starting to get into Eilidh's belly then?
So I think for me, it actually started like the race week. So I came with these Xtri races, it's amazing. You get a support crew. So every person at the event has their little bubble of people who are helping them. And I have my mom and dad, my amazing mom and dad with me, supporting me. So we went out a few days earlier to have a look at the run course and the bike course. And I'd seen all the photos, and I looked on Google Earth on the bike course and looked at the elevation profiles. But actually being there and seeing it, and one night we slept opposite Galstatoppen. So I woke up in the morning looking over at the huge mountain. And then that same day, we drove the bike course backwards. And by the time we got to Eilidhs, where the race starts, I was almost in tears, because I still felt that I had this kind of mental trauma from Countman. I dug so deep in Countman, and I was like, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? I can't do this. And then on the Thursday night, so the Friday night, you're up at like 2 a.m., so you don't really get any sleep. So the Thursday night, I was like, okay, I need to get a good night's sleep here. I was up till 5 a.m. because I was so stressed. I went for a walk in the middle of the night. I just kept on working myself up about it. And I was like, I can't do this. So anyway, Friday comes, day before the race. I'm practically in tears the whole day. Anyone who saw me can totally account for that. Go to the race briefing. I'm feeling sick in my stomach, and I genuinely just want to cry. It was awful. I have more fear about that feeling before than I do about the actual race. So then, the night before, playing cards with my mum and dad, we were just kind of nice and chatting, and I managed to get some sleep. Everything was calm. By the time I got up, I put my wetsuit on, I was ready to go. There was none of that left. Sitting on my own on the ferry, found a nice quiet part, and yeah, just kind of this sense of calmness, really, that I was here and I'd had amazing adventures to get up to here. It wasn't like I'd done lots of training, but it wasn't the training for this. I get so much enjoyment out of just going out on my bike on a day, or going up a hill. So yeah, the ferry was fine. It was the kind of few days before were the worst part.
And when was it that Eilidh began to let herself think, you know what, I could do this here. I could actually become world champion?
I wouldn't let myself think about that at all until I guess the last 5 minutes. And then when I crossed the line and there was all these cameras, and I was like, oh my God, I've actually won. It was just this kind of sense of I couldn't believe it. And even now, I think today is the first day I've really been able to process it. And it's such an amazing feeling to think, oh my goodness, I didn't think I was going to be able to do that. And I did. What?
Inner energy, just infectious. She's brilliant. What's Eilidh's advice then to maybe you? Maybe you're thinking about lacing your trainers up for the first time in a while. What would she say to you?
Do it. Don't think about it. Don't think about things too much. Just take it one step at a time. And when you get to that point where you can click into that almost meditation state, when you're out on your bike or when you're out on a run, it's the best feeling ever. And it's just this sense of calmness and freedom that I don't think you can get anywhere else. Big
thank you to Eilidh. There is a full unedited version of this conversation, by the way, on our YouTube page. If you don't subscribe to RunThrough TV yet, please do hit that subscribe button for us. Stick a comment in the comment section below. Tell me your favourite part of this video, and I will catch you again soon on RunThrough TV.